What's up, guys? Welcome to BroBeats, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make some easy, hard beats in just a few minutes. We're going to go ahead and get started. I got this sound in Serum. It's a little string. We're going to make it like kind of a hard trap beat. So we're going to go in here and we're going to make it real quick. You could choose any key that you want. You could do, let's do something like this, like a little pattern like this. I'm going to try to keep it zoomed in because this doesn't need to be super overcomplicated. And then what we're going to do is go up one and then pull this one up like this. And then we can just copy it over a few times. And you can kind of steal this kind of these notes. And then from here, we're going to take this G and let's just pull it up and we're just going to copy it. And we're just using kind of just simple tricks. And then again, what we could do is pull this up. Boom. Okay, and this is supposed to be super quick. There we go. And then we're gonna pull this over and go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom. We don't need to worry about music or anything like that. We're just using 3 notes pretty much. Now what we're doing here is actually building texture. So we just want a foundation and then we can throw like a top melody on top. To kind of solidify the vibe. So let's go ahead and move on to our next sound. Now that we got our texture made, and we'll put effects on this as well. We're gonna go ahead and use this sound here, this little Pac-Man sound we got here from Blemish. You can use really any synth, but the reason why we want to use a synth is because when we put effects on it, we want it to be heard, right? So we kind of want those rich frequencies. So with this, it's gonna be super simple, right? I don't want to overcomplicate this. We're literally just gonna be lazy and do something like this. Okay, and if you want it to sound more wild, just add a few more sounds up top, but I'm gonna just keep it like this, and then we just want to follow suit and go down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the whole purpose of this is to prep it so that we can add effects on top, because a lot of like dark trap or just any like rap beat really, most of the melodies are going to be 50% texture. So it's going to be like dark mood texture, soundscape, stuff like that. And there's plenty of ways to get by it where you can like sample stuff and put, effects, but this is kind of a cheap way of doing it. So what we're going to do now is I'm gonna just kind of load up an effect and kind of show you what I have there. Now I just load up some presets. Now I haven't used this in a while, but I chose to go with Portal. You can obviously use whatever effects you want, Effectrix, Shaper Box, Kilohertz. You can use Gross Beat, whatever you have, you can use. The whole point of this, you just want to manipulate it. So you can manipulate it by adding a gate or adding, halftime effect, whatever. So I just use the trifecta effect in Bermuda. I'll link anything below, but it just kind of slows it up and it's like a gate. Or I guess I could turn it on real quick. So it just kind of turns it into a gate, etc. You can kind of control the cutoff, and I'll actually turn that cutoff all the way up. Okay, and then we have some effects on top. So a chorus, always add a chorus just to widen it. As you can see, it's kind of like it sounds really thin right now. And then we also have this, so this is really closing it down. So between this low to like, I guess you could say to like high mid is where I usually like to cut it off, just to contain it so I can have room to add on top. So that's the texture that I want. You can kind of add whatever effects you want, but let's go ahead now and add our melody on top. Now we're gonna go ahead and add on top. So I'll just pick this little flute. Okay, and I'll turn it up a little bit so we can hear it more, but now we have this, and I'm actually close this down a bit. So now I just want to make a melody with this. So at this point, you should have enough notes here. You can kind of use your ear to play around with it. So I'm gonna let me turn up a little bit more so y'all can hear. and then we can pull it up, and I'll do like a little flam. And let's copy this, and then we can go up, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can pull it up an octave so it connects. And then over here, I'll just pull this down. Something like this. I'm not going to zoom in too much. I'm going to just kind of eyeball it. Something like that. So I like that. I'll keep it. It's not the greatest thing ever. Now let's go ahead and get into the drums. Lastly, we're going to add the drums. This doesn't need to be overly complicated. First, obviously, we want to go ahead and add the 808. So we're going to throw that in there. So we're going to start here. I'm just do kind of like a typical thing here. And maybe we can go like something like that. And then maybe we could do some slides in there, like slide it down. And if you're new and you're wondering how am I just placing these notes without even hearing it, it's just repetition. I've done this literally probably like a million times, so I already know what notes work, don't work. And then we pull this down here. Let's make sure this is clean. And I'm gonna just pull this up here so that it has a good flow. Pull it up. And then now we just add our drums. So again, this is supposed to be easy, so I don't want to overcomplicate the drums. I'll just add as we go. I kind of want to play around with this a little bit here. And it can literally be that simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. We'll just put everything on bar. We'll play it through. And usually what I like to do is we can add a EQ. Okay, put our clipper at the bottom, and then we can kind of just play. And I usually use EQO, but I'll just use this because it's just easier to access. And then we can just play around with it. Like, I like that frequency, so I'm gonna use it. I want to take some. And I would argue the bass is a little too hot, too like loud. Oh wait, I'm doing the wrong one. And obviously you can add more to it if you want to add variation or even expand on this, but this is supposed to be something easy and quick you can do really fast. So I hope this helped. This is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.